Okay, picture this. You're a 29-year-old analyst. You're sharp, you're ambitious, and you think you know how the market works. You believe it's all about finding the right price, figuring out when to buy and when to sell. But what if that entire belief system was about to get completely turned on its head? Well, this is the story of why the truly wealthy are playing an entirely different game than the rest of us. This one sentence, right here, this is the key that unlocks the whole thing. It's a completely different way of looking at finance. See, for most people, the goal is to sell an asset at the right time. But for the ultra-wealthy, selling is what you do when you've run out of options. It's the end of the line, and you avoid it at all costs. So, our young analyst gets a call from a guy named Garrett Whitmore. Garrett represents a family office, and they manage, get this, $3.1 billion in private assets. He wants to meet. And let me tell you, this isn't just another meeting. This is the first day of a brand new education in how wealth is actually built, and more importantly, how it's kept. All right, so here's the setup. The family owns this massive chunk of a company called Arden Industrial, and they've made an absolute killing on it, a 600% return. So from our analyst's point of view, the next move is a total no-brainer. You sell, you take your profits, you diversify. It's like portfolio management 101. But when he suggests this, he just gets a look that says he has missed the entire point. And boom, with that one simple request, our analyst's world starts to fall apart. See, Garrett isn't asking about market trends or future earnings. He's pointing to the one giant unavoidable cost that most people just accept as part of the game, the tax bill. And this is where we get to the real heart of it. This isn't just about avoiding a tax bill. It's about a fundamentally different philosophy of how you use your assets. The choice isn't about when to sell. It's about whether you should ever sell at all. This number, this is what changes the entire equation. $80 million. That's the check the family would have to write to the government on their $280 million in gains if they listen to our analyst. It is a permanent loss, a huge chunk of their wealth just gone, before they can even think about reinvesting a single dime. So you have two paths forward here. Path one on the left is what almost everyone does. Sell the asset, pay that massive tax bill, and then try to make up for it with what's left. But then there's path two, the architect's path. You borrow against the asset, you get the cash you need, you pay zero capital gains tax, and the original asset, it just stays right where it is, continuing to grow in value. And here's the punchline. Just look at the long-term result. Over 30 years, assuming the exact same market performance, the simple decision to borrow instead of sell creates a portfolio that is $340 million bigger. That's not just a small edge, that is a generational chasm of wealth created by refusing to make one simple transaction. So now, the analyst's education goes way beyond just one deal. He's not just picking stocks anymore. He's learning about portfolio architecture. He realizes it's not about a collection of individual positions. It's about building a machine carefully designed to produce cash flow without ever having to sell off the engine itself. Now, one of the most important tools in this whole strategy is something called the stepped-up cost basis, and it's basically a legal magic trick. What it means is, when an asset is passed on to your kids, its cost basis gets reset to whatever the market value is on the day you die. So that massive 600% gain we were talking about, poof! For tax purposes, it's gone. The government never touches it. And this slide right here puts it all together. It's a life cycle literally engineered for perpetual wealth. You buy a great asset, you borrow against it when you need cash, tax-free, you hold it for your entire life, your heirs get it, the tax bill disappears forever, and then they start the cycle all over again. This is a game played across generations. The kinds of assets they buy are different too. The goal is to create what they call permanent income. And think about what that means. A toll road, a water utility, a cell tower. These things spit out cash, month in and month out, no matter what the stock market is doing. They're like owning a piece of the economy's plumbing. They are basically unstoppable. This quote from one of the family patriarchs, it just has everything. He got this huge offer to sell a water utility he owned. But to him, the offer wasn't even real. The value of that utility wasn't what he could sell it for. The real value was what he could borrow against it to go fund the next thing. Remember, selling is an ending. Borrowing is just the next chapter. So a few years go by, and our analyst isn't just watching this stuff from the sidelines anymore. He's in the game. He's actively building these complex structures himself. He's made the leap from being a market observer to a financial architect. Let me give you another real-world puzzle he had to solve. A tech founder has $1.4 billion, but it's all tied up in his company's stock. He has two massive problems. One, if he starts selling, the stock price will crater. And two, even if it didn't, the tax bill would be astronomical. So he's basically trapped by his own success. How does he get cash out?
Well, the solution isn't to sell. It's to use a much smarter tool. He uses something called an exchange fund. He basically puts his stock into this special partnership with other founders in the same boat. In return, he gets a piece of the entire, now diversified fund. He doesn't sell a single share, his tax bill gets kicked way down the road, and he's no longer exposed to just one stock. It's about moving the chess pieces in ways most people don't even know is possible.
This slide really just boils it all down, doesn't it? The old way of thinking is constantly worried about price swings and asks, when do I sell? The architect's mindset, it focuses on how good the asset is as collateral. The question isn't, what's my exit price? It's, how much can I borrow against this? You stop seeing your assets as just a pile of bricks and start seeing them as an interconnected lattice where every piece supports the others. So now we've arrived at the single, most important philosophy that drives this entire wealth machine. It's actually incredibly simple, but it's also profound, and it guides every single decision they make. The absolute total refusal to subtract from your base of wealth.
See, to them, a good asset is alive. It's working, it's generating income, it's acting as collateral, it's compounding. But cash is dead. It's inert. It gets taxed the second you get it, inflation eats away at it every single day, and it just sits there. So selling a productive, living asset for a pile of cash is like trading something that's growing for something that is actively dying.
And there it is. That's the whole game in one sentence. Every time you sell, it's a permanent subtraction. Every tax bill you pay is a permanent subtraction. Real generational wealth isn't built by just picking winners. It's built by designing a system that is relentlessly, obsessively focused on avoiding subtraction. In the end, our analyst finally got it. He never became one of them, but he learned how to read their map. He became one of the architects. He understood that this complex game is being played all around us, all the time, with a set of rules that most of us never even get to see. And it leaves you with one question, right? The game is always on. Who's drawing your map?
If this video stayed with you, that's not an accident. It means something inside you is ready. You don't have to fix everything. Just don't ignore it. I'll see you next time.